Hello everyone and welcome back. I'm your host, Veteran Mountain Man, and we're going to continue Rules for Radicals today. And after the definition section, Saul D Alinsky starts getting into the best ideologies and ideals for community organizers, as he calls them. And these are basically people who support the leftist ideology to the point where they actually organize protest groups and organize small groups of individuals to create political action. Now, this stuff is not organic because actually Saul D Alinsky talks about how he educates community organizers to create these groups. And so it's not like the groups that you see in many cases from other aspects of the political compass where groups of people find each other and decide to discuss the ideas in politics and rhetoric and then do something about it. Instead, these groups are kind of formed inorganically and then used to beat down other groups. It's a technique that's been being used since the initial teachings of Marx, because in Marx's Communist Manifesto, and even in Das Kapital, he talks about how members of the petty bourgeoisie will need to lead the proletariat by gathering them together and showing them the oppression that the bourgeoisie has on them in order to inspire them to the revolution. And so this concept of inorganic organizing is something that's very common in the left. But let's take a look at some of these qualities. Now, he mentions that he has not been able to create the perfect community organizer. He talks about different groups and how each group has some different qualities, whether they be union leaders or specific race group leaders or specific city group leaders. And some of the qualities he talks about needing include things such as curiosity. And his decision on curiosity is because it forces them to think in different ways. He quotes Freud in here about curiosity and actually quotes Socrates and several others. He has this habit of trying to use others' philosophy to dictate his own instead of letting it stand on its own merit. It's understandable. I mean, not everybody creates a personal philosophy, but a lot of his uses are just insane. Irreverence, because, people who are community organizing need to be able to tell the truth. Imagination, which he describes as a dislike of dogma and a dislike of standard things in order to create new ideas. A sense of humor, because he states that it's important for all community organizers to be able to use satire. And we're starting to see that come out through the right recently, that the left has lost their ability to satirize. He also mentions that ego is important, and a free and open mind, and politically relative. Now, the political relative thing is a problem for me in that aspect, because the concept of politically relative means that basically whatever they believe at the moment is what is right, that there's no set moral guidelines or truths. And his entire book does this whole relativity push, where everything can be justified because everything is relative, and because everything is relative, anything can be justified. And I don't necessarily agree with that, simply because I actually have a strong moral and ethical code that I live by, and things that are wrong to that code are always wrong to that code. Even if I do them for noble reasons, they're still wrong, and I still should expect to suffer the consequences of that wrong. But apparently, according to Saul D Alinsky, that's not the way the world works. And I think we're seeing this more and more out of the left, as this book has become kind of the seminal hand guide for leftist activism and ideologies. Well, thank you very much again for joining me on this deconstruction of rules for radicals. I've got at least 2 more videos that I'm going to be doing on this. There is a link down in the description where you can purchase a copy from Amazon.com. I do recommend you read it for yourself if you're seriously curious and don't just rely on my deconstruction of it. I think everybody should read it. It's definitely worth your time, assuming that you're not going to be, brainwashed by it. But I don't think any book really has that power. I think we give them that power. Don't forget that you can contact me at Minds, Gab, or Twitter. The links are down below, or that you can see me on BitChute, as well as YouTube, and of course my premiere channel on VidMe. The links are down below, and remember, if you comment, I will interact as long as it's a reasonable comment. Don't forget to upvote and follow me on VidMe, and as always, have yourselves a great day.